This is not the cheat code.
Dang it.
3.6, multiplying matrices.
I thought we were on 3.7.
Mason, let her teach. Are you the teacher?
We did 3.5 yesterday, and 6 comes after 5, so that would be this section. All right, number 4 says to state whether the product of A times B is defined. If so, give the dimensions of AB. So I have A is a 3x4 and B is a 4x2. So when I look at this, I have a 3x4 and a 4x2, and it's A times B is what I'm looking at, meaning I've got a 3x4 and a 4x2. If these match, which they do, they are the same, then it works, and the result is a 3x2. If these are not the same, so if the middle term is not the same, then it does not work.
Okay. I keep on figuring X is not a multiplication sign.
No, it's dimensions. Now, if I were to switch this and say B times A, which is not what this problem says to do, but just for the sake of the problem, because I want to actually get into us doing the problems. If I switched it, then I would have a 4x2 times a 3x4. These are not the same, so it is not defined. So the first thing you should do, whether it gives it to you like this or it's an actual problem, is write down what the dimensions are and verify it works. Because it'd be super annoying to do all the work only to find out it didn't work from the start. And I often give you one on the quiz or the test that is does not work.
Okay.
So just saying, pay attention.
And when we have 4 4s are the same, are the dimensions when we take the 4s out? Is that where you got
Yeah, it's what's left over on the outside. So the insides match, outsides may match, they don't have to. The outsides are the result.
Okay.
All right, and so we'll do more of this as we do each problem, but I'm not going to spend time doing these when we need to actually get into the multiplication. So, number 10, I have this matrix 3, -1, being multiplied by this matrix 5, 7. So what are the dimensions of this first one?
2 1 by 2.
So 1 by 2, rows then columns. What's the dimensions of this one?
1 2.
2 by 1, rows then columns.
Gotta go 2. Yeah.
So these match. So that means my result is a 1 by 1. So here's how this works. Turn this crazy thing off.
This one
Okay.
is
So we do 3 times 5. I already know y'all are going to hate this. Plus -1 times 7. So 15 minus 7 is
15 minus 7 is 6.
8. So the result is this matrix that's a 1 by 1 with the number 8 in it.
Okie dokie. If we have 2, wait.
This was an easy one.
Okay, so if we have 3 minus 1 brackets and 3 minus 1, and it's a 1 by 2 and a 1 by 2, if they're the same dimensions, can we still multiply them?
A 1 by 2 and a 1 by 2, the middle dimensions would not match.
So you can.
No. You can only do it if the middle's the same.
Jeannie, I never
What
heard you
happens
say
if
that.
we have more than one? Like, what happens if we have more dimensions, bigger ones?
Oh, it gets a lot bigger.
Okay.
Yippee.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
So basically, like the length, like if the row of the
first one is the same length as the column of the second one, you can multiply them?
Yes.
Okay.
Just remember, I don't know what I was gonna say.
Well, it's the amount of columns in the first one and the rows in the second one, technically.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So columns. Yep. Good job, Jay.
All right, this matrix, -1, 0, 5, 4. And this matrix, 4, -6.
Ooh, I got this one. That one is a 2x2 because I go to Lowe's, and then this one's a 2x1, a 1x2.
Rows, then columns. Do you know the difference in a row and a column?
Honestly, I always thought rows go
Rows
this way.
go this way. Columns stand up tall.
I know, but I mean, like columns, like it's one column. It's just a bigger column, you know.
What?
Zach, that's not how that works.
Okay, do these match?
No.
No. Not defined.
I thought she was saying.
I really thought you were saying no to him.
I think she was.
No.
No, you
What
weren't.
does you having to go to Lowe's have to do with anything, though?
Yeah.
You
Because
know what a
suppose
2x2 is?
I know what a 2x2 is. I know what Rubik's Cubes are.
What? I'm talking about Lowe's, not Rubik's column.
You're talking about Lowe's, or you're talking about like buying plywood or whatever.
Plywood.
All right,
Plywood.
14, 5,
It
0,
should still be
-4, 1,
times width.
-3, 2, 6,
It
2.
still has dimensions.
This one can work.
Seems like Mr. Eilers never took you to the Lowe's store before.
2x2, 2x2. These match, so the result is a 2x2.
Oh, now let's solve it.
No.
Now, I would suggest that you only start with the left bracket. Some people try to put the other one and then they realize that it's not big enough. I'm going to do this in color so that you see exactly what's happening. If you would like to do that, you can. So, this first one that goes in this blank right here is going to be this row times this column.
Let me get my colors out. I can't do this.
Yeah.
Anyone have colored pens?
I have a surplus of them if you would like to borrow some.
Let me check in my pink hat.
Zach, do you want mine?
Do I look country?
Yes.
Thank you.
You
Nah,
could
I
probably
want,
talk like
Wait, so the Western game's tomorrow?
I think. I'm going to check when we're
And
done.
that's when we play Hampton Christian, right?
I think so, which is
Oh, yeah.
kind of comical because when we played them, that was their theme. But we didn't know that when we planned it.
What's the difference between Western and
That's what
country?
kind of funny though.
It's the
Oh,
same
okay.
thing.
Okay. I was
well,
really
I
confused
don't
for a
like
second.
the West Coast.
I'll bring a
We
banjo.
already did Hawaiian Day. So.
Wait, I want to learn how to play banjo.
Alright.
I can only play a 4-string.
All right, so in this spot, we do 5 times -3 plus 0 times 6.
Whoa. 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 Wait, 5.
Now, if you wanted to, I would not recommend you do it on this one because this is one that you need to be able to go back and refer to. But if instead you wanted to go -15 plus 0 and write that instead of writing out each little piece, like that's fine too. Some of those may or may not work super well. I'm just letting you know. You can try them. I'm just saying I haven't checked them in a while.
They're not yours.
So I'm just letting you know that you can shorten it a little bit, but on the ones you have to do by hand, you have to show me work or I'm going to think you're cheating and putting it in your calculator and I'm just going to mark it wrong.
Ooh.
Okay? There are going to be some that I let you do on your calculator, but not these ones. Anything that's a 2x2, you absolutely have to do by hand.
I
Huh?
don't like this.
That was easy, guys.
No, it's like the first one and the first one, but then it's diagonal.
It's gonna help me.
Fine, stop
Well,
doing
wait till
that.
it's this one.
Ah.
All right, this blank right here is first row, second column.
1, 2. Hold up, guys.
I quit math.
Whoa, Charlotte.
That's
So
not-
it's 5 times 2 plus 0 times 2 It's just very tedious, to be honest. Once you understand the pattern, it's really not difficult.
Yeah, Charlotte.
It's basic
But if you
math.
wanna quit,
But
you can
you have to understand the pattern first.
Quitter.
Quit. Quit.
Or like one.
And then is it negative 4 times 6?
No, it's negative 4.
It's
1
this
times
row
6.
times this column going right here.
Yeah, guys.
So, and I'm only doing this to color code it for you. I wouldn't normally put the lines there just for clarity's sake. I just want you to see where we're going. So negative 4 times negative 3 plus 1 times 6
And then get another color, huh? Yellow.
So then my last one is second row, second column,
Negative 4.
negative 4 times 2
And 1 times 2.
plus 1 times 2.
I like these pens. They look like the
That's
ice
what you want to
pops.
share.
You know the ice pops that come with the 2 6 and you split them in half?
Sure.
That's what they look like.
No.
Now, I'm going to write the intermediate step here of what you could go to instead of writing each little piece out if you wanted to. And then we'll go to the final answer. So, in here, if I wanted to, I could have said, instead of doing this step that I just did, I could have gone to this point instead. I could have said negative 15 plus 0.
7.
Over here, 10 plus 0. 12 plus 6, 8. 12 plus 6, I'll do it that way. And then negative 8 plus 2. Okay, so you can either start by going to this first step that I did in colors, or you can go here. This would be sufficient for showing your work. And then going to your final answer, negative 15, 10, 18, negative 6.
Wow.
Really?
That was really easy. Just sounds easy.
Be careful what you wish for.
I wish for more problems.
Bases.
I wish for more problems.
Zach.
You
Okay,
can
Zach.
leave.
All right, we're going to do another one.
She's ever talking. I want quality.
Who would we just listen
I'm
to?
only the first after I already went through the whole page.
2, 5, 1, 7, 4, negative 8, 3, negative 1.
Oh, this is easy.
Stop saying
Really?
easy, Daniel.
Daniel, it's
Well,
a 2
maybe
by
it's not
2.
easy.
Really, Daniel?
They're both 2 by 2s. These dimensions are the same, so I can proceed.
Asking
Do I need to color code this one too?
No.
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, guys.
No.
We're literally learning. Once you guys get out the learning
Why are you
stage.
so against college, man?
All right. First row, first column. So 2 times 4 plus 5 times 3.
Alright, and then you go to the right side. And it's
First row, second column. 2 times negative 8
what? Yeah.
plus 5 times negative 1.
And the bottom. Teal. Oh. Alright, so 1.
Are you writing this down or are you just talking?
1 times 4.
That's a big
That did not
Second
answer.
row, first column.
1 times 4 plus
1 times 4 plus 7 times 3.
circle that.
Second row, second column. 1 times negative 8 plus 7 times negative 1. Now, before I keep going, do you notice anything about this?
Yes.
Multiplication of this side. What side is this, right?
No.
I'm not good at explaining things.
Yes.
It's the same.
I
Both
noticed something.
rows. Like, kind of, I don't know.
What are you talking about? I noticed that both, it will give us an answer.
So look, over here, if I've done this correctly, the second pieces line up.
Oh! Wow.
What?
in there. So that's kind of a way for you to check it. The other thing is these numbers going across line up. So the first numbers line up going across. The second numbers line up top and bottom.
Well, how come the other one didn't? Oh, never mind. The other one did match.
It did.
Jeannie, she's talking about the
I'm asking
number
what you're talking about.
on the
not
far
the-
right matches
I know
for
what
every
you're
single
talking
one.
about.
That's
What
what
you're
you're
talking about.
All right. If you want, you can just go to an answer. I'm just going to go to an answer instead of the intermediate step on this one. 8 plus 15.
21.
23.
Exactly.
Oh, I thought that was
Negative 16 minus 5.
Negative 21.
4 plus 21.
25.
Negative 8 minus 7.
Negative
1.
15.
Negative 1 times negative 8.
What?
How many plus is negative 15?
That's just writing down the answer.
Good job.
Yeah, the,
He was the one that wanted it in colors, and I don't even think you wrote it down.
I did it.
He did
Is that your
it.
paper?
Look how colorful it is.
Is that problem or the other
Yes.
problem?
That's the last problem.
That's the
That's
first problem.
why I take paper.
I recognize pretty.
There's more
You
paper,
have
Zach.
the back of the paper. You
Ask
have
for
the
paper.
I got a bunch.
It's all you.
There's so many backs of that paper in there.
You should give us a hard one just because it's back.
Stop, Gene.
Yeah.
Well, we're about to do a hard one. Don't
Danny's
worry.
elite.
Thanks, Gene.
You're welcome.
18. I'm backtracking a little bit. This was problem 20. Just so you know, was a find the error and correct it. But I just was doing it to show you another problem.
Do we have one of the error ones?
Yo, Daniel doesn't want anyone to know.
If
he's
you know how to
mewing
do the
right
problem, you know how to find
He's
it.
what?
He's mewing.
Daniel.
All right, 18, 2, 5, negative 1, 4, 3, negative
Yes.
7, 0, 1, 5, negative 3, 10, negative 4.
You can't do that.
No, yes you can.
You can?
Yes you can.
You can.
Yeah, because the middle ones match.
Oh, they do.
What's this first one?
Oops.
Oh, you want the dimensions?
3. No, 3,
3 by
2.
2.
Do you want the dimensions?
3 by 2. What's this one?
That one's a 2
Right.
by
2
3.
by 3.
2 by 3.
Got the numbers mixed up.
No.
Middle dimensions match, so my result is a 3 by 3 this time.
I was
Yeah,
afraid that it wouldn't work.
I'm going to write it down here so that I have plenty of room. I would not recommend doing it beside it unless you wrote really tiny,
I wrote.
because this is going to be quite large. Because now instead of it being 2 things being added, there's going to be 3 things being added.
It's gonna be 3 of them.
So 3 by 3.
Are we speaking British?
That just comes out when I don't want to do math.
All right. First row, first column,
No.
2 times 0
0.
plus, or well, this one's not going to have 5 times negative 3. This one's not going to have 3 things being added because it's a 3 by 2. It's the other way. But if they were flipped, it would, yeah, anyways. But we're going to have 3 things going across, so it's going to be big. Now, second row, or nope, I lied. First row, second column.
Okay,
I was about to start going down. I need to go across. First row, second column. 2 times 1 plus 5 times 10
What? Oh yeah.
That equals
And then 2 times 5 times 5 times negative 4.
First row, third column. 2 times 5 plus 5 times negative 4.
Oh, so we could just copy the negative 3 all the way down. And then
Next one, second row, first column. Negative 1 times 0 plus 4 times negative 3. Second row, second column. Negative 1 times 1 plus 4 times 10. Second row, third column, -1 times 5 plus 4 times -4.
3, 0,
Now, third row, first column, 3 times 0 plus -7 times -3.
Oh.
Third row, second column, 3 times 1 plus -7 times 10. Third row, third column, 3 times 5 plus -7 times -4. Not that bad, right?
Every time we
I
say
mean,
that,
it
you
makes
say
sense.
we're
The
about
more
to
we've
make
done
it
it,
harder.
the more it makes sense, like how the pattern works.
I think I figured
All right, so then my result, 0 minus 15, -15. 2 plus 50 is 52. 10 minus 20, -10. 0 minus 12, -12. -1 plus 40, 39.
-67. Oh, never mind. -26.
-5 minus 16,
-21.
-21.
What's that?
0 plus 21 is 21. 3 minus 70,
-67.
-67. And 15 plus 28, 43. And that would be your answer.
Oh, 2 negatives next.
So now that you've successfully done that, I can tell you that if you have one that's that big, you get to use your calculator.
What? That wasn't even that big.
If it's anything bigger than a 2x2, like if the result is anything bigger than a 2x2, I let you use your calculator.
That wasn't even that big.
We're not done.
Yeah.
Yippee.
Figure that.
I'm putting my color pencils away.
No, that's fine. I was just saying, don't get excited. We're not done yet.
One problem
Yeah,
took up
we're
the
done.
entire paper, bro.
All right, the next ones give you 5 matrices, and you're using them to like answer the question. So when you go to do these, I would just type in A, B, C, D, and E to your calculator. You will do all of these ones on your calculator.
You're gonna have to do that.
22 through 29 are calculator problems.
You're gonna have to do that.
So if I had 24, says A times B plus A times C. And then I'll just I'll write them out. But normally you don't have to write them this way. You can just put in your calculator. Matrix A is 5, -3, -2, 4. Matrix B, 0, 1, 4, -2. So even though you could do this by hand, I'm letting you do this on a calculator.
Yes.
Plus
It's the calculator.
5, -3, -2, 4 times matrix C is -6, 3, 4, 1.
I forgot how to do this.
I did it. Some sort.
Okay, so AB, that's A, that's B. So second
So-
matrix.
Second matrix, remember you gotta go to edit. All these are 2x2s.
Y'all
So you're gonna type them in as matrix A, matrix B, and matrix C, and then you pretty much just leave them there for the remainder of your problems because why not? And then you just type in the numbers. Remember it goes across.
second matrix again. And B. 0. Oh.
I must not have used these since last year because matrix C is still exactly what matrix C
What?
is.
That's why.
I don't really know how, but anyways.
I don't
Do you not use matrices in any other class?
Charlotte.
So I used to use them in pre-cal, but they don't put that on the AP exam they don't put it on the AP exam, so we didn't do them last year. But since you do them in here, you already know how to do them. There are things you can use them for. Like, I took a whole class that was all about matrices in college
Why?
because I had to for my degree.
Was it fun?
It's called linear algebra.
Was it fun?
I was pretty good at it, so I enjoyed it. And I got off easy by taking it at ODU instead of taking it at Liberty with all my friends because they had to do proofs with them. But mine did not, but the description made it seem like we were going to have to, so I got out super easy and, pulled an A, and literally my friends that took it at Liberty got, C's.
Wow. Yeah.
Which it doesn't really matter because if you don't take it at Liberty, it doesn't, transfer, the GPA, but whatever. I didn't care. I got through the class. That was all I cared about. So when you go to do this, you can just type it in exactly how it looks here. Matrix A times matrix B plus it knows order of operations, so it's safe to do this.
Enter.
So it can look like this. Boom. Answer.
So I thought you said you don't want us using our calculator if it's not bigger than a 2x2.
Does somebody want to tell him what I said?
Yes, please.
Stop arguing, Zach. That's what she said. How did I not get that?
Oh my goodness.
Did you read this
That
right
was
here, Zach?
involuntary.
It says problems 22 through 29, use your calculator. And then I also followed that up by saying, I know these are 2x2s and you could definitely do them by hand, but I'm letting you use your calculator.
If you want to do it by hand.
My calculator.
Now, again, I'm going to reiterate what I said yesterday because I know inevitably somebody's going to come up to me during the quiz and say, my calculator's not working.
Please say it. I think my calculator's not working. How did-
Because
I
it's
don't
going to come
understand.
up and say dimension mismatch. What does that mean?
Check your works.
You can't do it. That means your dimensions weren't right. So when you go to multiply them, it's not going to work.
Didn't help.
If you get that error message, I would look and make sure you typed it in right first, and then at that point say it doesn't work. If you come up to me, I'm probably just going to start laughing.
Zach,
Not to be mean, but it will be funny by the amount of times that I have said it by that point.
Yeah, it's okay. Miss Greer's laugh is still superior.
It's like a lot of different.
All right, any questions?
An emo.
The emo's cool, really.
All right, you're going to have a by hand section of homework and a calculator section of homework.
I would do that.
That means that anything that you have to do by hand, you would be expected to be able to do by hand on the quiz.
Ah,
If it says you can use a calculator, then on the quiz or test, you would be able to use a calculator for a problem like this. Now, the other catch I'm going to tell you is that sometimes I am just so nice and I let you work a problem on your calculator by hand also in addition to that for a bonus point.
So we're doing double the work for extra credit points. Nice.
But it's extra credit.
Nice.
So, I may give you a 3x3 to multiply on your calculator, but if you want to go so far as to do it by hand, you'd get extra points. Sometimes two.